Today we're diving into a story that's shaken India to its core, the horrific terror attack in Pahalgam, Jammu and Kashmir on April 22, 2025. This wasn't just a brutal assault on innocent tourists, it was a calculated Hamas-inspired strike aimed at derailing India's growing global influence, timed with precision during critical India-Saudi-US diplomatic engagements. The parallels to Hamas's October 7, 2023 massacre in Israel are chilling, and the implications are massive. Let's break it all down step by step because every detail matters. On April 22, 2025, around 3 p.m., the serene Baisaran meadow near Pahalgam in Anantnag district, often called Mini Switzerland for its lush grasslands and breathtaking views, turned into a bloodbath. Picture this. Indian tourists, families and friends were soaking in the beauty, some enjoying pony rides, others just relaxing in this peaceful haven. Without warning, multiple gunmen emerged from the surrounding forests and opened fire, spraying bullets indiscriminately into the crowd. Eyewitnesses say there was no chance to react, just chaos and screams as the attackers mowed down unarmed civilians. As quickly as they struck, the terrorists vanished into the dense woods, leaving behind a scene of unimaginable horror. What made this attack even more sinister was its deliberate targeting. Survivors and eyewitnesses later revealed that the gunmen appeared to single out non-Muslim tourists, with some reports indicating they asked individuals about their religion before firing. This wasn't random violence, it was a calculated move to inflame communal tensions and spread fear among specific communities in India. The intent was clear: sow division and terror. The toll was devastating. At least 27 civilians were confirmed dead, with dozens more injured, mostly Indian tourists. The remote terrain of Baisaran, accessible only by foot or horseback, made rescue efforts grueling. Locals, including pony operators, stepped up heroically, carrying victims down the hills to safety. The Jammu and Kashmir police, CRPF, and Indian Army launched an immediate manhunt, while emergency services, including air ambulances, rushed the wounded to hospitals in Srinagar and Anantnag. Despite the chaos, the response was swift, but the loss of life was heartbreaking. So, who was behind this massacre? The Resistance Front, or TRF, a Pakistan-backed terror outfit and a proxy of the notorious Lashkar-e-Taiba, claimed responsibility. Indian intelligence sees this as part of a broader cross-border terror campaign to destabilize Kashmir and tarnish India's image on the world stage. But the timing and execution suggest something deeper. This attack wasn't just about Kashmir. It was a geopolitical power play, designed to hit India when global eyes were on its rising influence. Here's where it gets strategic. The Pahalgam attack mirrors Hamas's October 7, 2023 massacre of civilians in southern Israel, which targeted unarmed people during a moment of high-stakes diplomacy, the Abraham Accords. Similarly, the Baisaran strike hit as India was strengthening ties with Saudi Arabia and hosting the US Vice President for strategic talks. Indian Union ministers were in Riyadh, cementing defense, energy, and trade partnerships, while the US visit underscored India's role in a new Middle East-Asia axis. This wasn't a coincidence. Indian analysts say the TRF, likely guided by its handlers, chose this moment to humiliate India and disrupt its diplomatic ascent, much like Hamas aimed to fracture Israel's normalization with the Arab world. Security forces admitted there was no specific prior intelligence about an attack on Baisaran, though there were warnings about Lashkar-e-Taiba presence in the valley. The lack of specific intel points to a major lapse, but the tactical pattern is telling. The gunmen, described as heavily armed, some in military fatigues, executed a military precision operation, emerging from the woods, surrounding tourists, and firing at close range before melting away. It's a playbook straight out of Hamas's strategy: hit civilians in a symbolic location to maximize shock and shift global narratives. The political response was immediate and unified. Prime Minister Narendra Modi, speaking from Saudi Arabia, condemned the attack, drawing direct parallels to Hamas's tactics and vowing that those behind this heinous act will not be spared. Home Minister Amit Shah rushed to Srinagar, chairing a high-level security review and promising the harshest consequences for the perpetrators. J&K Chief Minister Omar Abdullah called the attackers animals inhuman and worthy of contempt, noting this was the largest civilian-targeted attack in recent years. President Drupadi Murmu, Congress leader Mallikarjun Kharge, and J&K Lieutenant Governor Manoj Sinha echoed the outrage, with Sinha directing urgent medical aid for the injured. The public reaction was just as intense. Kashmiri locals, pony operators, and civilians risked their lives to rescue victims, condemning the attackers as enemies of the region's peace and economy. Across India, outrage poured out, with protests in Jammu targeting Pakistan's role in fueling terror networks. The attack sent shockwaves through Kashmir's booming tourism industry, which was expecting over 2 crore visitors in 2025. Hotels in Srinagar, Gulmarg, and Pahalgam saw immediate cancellations as fear gripped travelers. Baisaran, a key stop for trekkers and a campsite for the Amarnath Yatra, now carries the stain of this tragedy. To put this in context, the Pahalgam attack is Kashmir's deadliest civilian massacre since the 2017 Anantnag bus attack and the 2000 Amarnath pilgrimage killings. It also recalls the 1995 Pahalgam hostage crisis involving foreign tourists. But what sets this apart is its strategic timing and global implications. Security analysts believe the TRF and its handlers aim to sabotage India's outreach to the Gulf, especially Saudi Arabia, the UAE, and Qatar, where growing defense and trade ties are sidelining Pakistan's influence. The US Vice President's visit, signaling a tighter US-India Gulf nexus, made India a prime target. Just as Hamas's 2023 attack disrupted Israel's Abraham Accords, the Pahalgam massacre sought to fracture India's diplomatic arc and dent its image as a safe, rising power. So what happens next? India's response is likely to mirror Israel's post-October 7 stance, uncompromising and extensive. Security has been ramped up across Kashmir, with choppers deployed to track the terrorists and counter-terror operations in full swing. With the Amarnath Yatra approaching, authorities are doubling down to ensure such carnage never happens again. But the bigger question is geopolitical. This attack wasn't just about killing tourists, it was a message to the world, challenging India's resolve as it cements its place in global alliances. Let's talk about the stakes. India's growing ties with Saudi Arabia and the Gulf threaten Pakistan's traditional influence in the Islamic world. The US-India partnership, showcased during the Vice President's visit, is reshaping regional dynamics. The TRF, backed by Lashkar-e-Taiba, wants to disrupt this shift, using terror to destabilize Kashmir and embarrass India. But India is not backing down. Like Israel after Hamas's attack, expect a relentless pursuit of justice, both on the ground and in the diplomatic arena.